They're doing that for a snow fence.
You're right, a living snow fence, which makes
Absolutely.
more sense than having to rebuild.
Right.
Don't know if there's a big initial cost, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. Although I wonder why it's on that side. You think the wind comes from that side? And the snow blows this way?
I would think it would come from the north.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I don't know.
Excuse me. It sounded kind of loud.
Maybe he doesn't want all that snow driven up over his field.
Maybe.
And this guy that wants the snow to leave his field, so you're not going to block it. That could be.
There's Palmetto Paratrooper and the Greek Homestead. Shalom, good morning, y'all.
Shalom, y'all.
We are back on the road, zipping through middle America.
Where there's now grass.
Yes, we are out of the mountains. Show that again. Although the mountains are in the background over there, I can see them. Yeah. Still have snow on the top of them. There was a big old storm last night, and because we were at elevation, the clouds roll in and they just obscure the landscape. It's kind of spooky. I got some photos of that. Yeah, we were literally in the clouds, and I have some video of that, some photos of that. I'm going to post on my channel, and we will be going all day pretty much today as well. Let me see who else has showed up. There's Ken Warland, there's Moonshine, hey guys, and Donald Stadler. Hey, I know there's no aircraft trying to blow me up, but not seeing trees anywhere makes me nervous.
Me too.
And it wasn't even just the trees, Palmetto. It was, I see. If you're on the plains, yeah. But that storm last night, that really freaked me out because you couldn't see anything. It just sort of creeped up on the left side of us and obscured everything on our left side. And it was just starting to roll over the road when we pulled off and shacked up.
These guys are probably getting double time working on this first day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, concrete on this road here. There's Michigan Prepper.
Am I a prepper? I see a Uber or a troll.
I forget what he said. There's Hunter Kirk, shalom from North Idaho. Welcome to the West.
You're living in your own private Idaho.
Yeah. The beautiful Mountain West.
What is it, Hunter Kirk?
Hunter Kirk, yes.
You know what the problem with Idaho is, Hunter Kirk?
I do.
Well, I do too, now for sure.
Too many Californians.
That's the problem with Idaho. Holy cow.
Hunter, you may know the answer to this because when we entered Idaho, I noticed there were lots of green fields and lots of irrigation. Like every field that we passed, on both sides of the road. Irrigation, green fields. Has there been a new plan, like a new agriculture plan up there in Idaho to just make your land as productive as you can?
He's in North Idaho, man. That's mountains.
But he might know more about his state than I do.
Granted.
What is CCHF? I will explain that here in a minute. Moonshine OPSEC. Oh, that's right, military intelligence prepper, not Michigan prepper.
Oh, MI prepper. I see his logo now. Yeah.
My bad. You're probably going to have to correct me every single time because I forget little details like that. I will remember though.
When I see the logo, I know because it's the MI logo.
Right? Good morning from Eastern Idaho, so Silver Lining. Silver Lining might know.
Yeah.
You have a lot of irrigation and fields, green fields in your part of your state. Do you guys have like a new ag Like, we're going to make the state super productive. Because I was really surprised. There's Aid. Just saying hi because I'm at church. Oh,
Get your nose out of your phone and into your Bible. Come on now.
Aid's in church? Wow. That's pretty cool, Aid. I always thought
I
it was...
shouldn't give people crap on your channel. Sorry.
He's not really giving you crap anyway, Aid. We like you. Palmetto Pertura. Always thought it was Michigan Prepper, LL. And see, it's capital M and capital I. So usually, well, doesn't matter, right? There's Rachel House. It's been raining all morning. Heard a tree fall down, but didn't hit anything important.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. That's always my prayer. Love the rain. Thank you, Father, for the rain. Please don't let it fall on...
Rachel, how was the tribe meeting?
She sent me a text this morning.
Oh, did she?
I'll have to share it with you.
Okay, never mind. We got it.
Please don't fall on fences, buildings, animals, or vehicles. Kind of prayer. And I'm sure we can use the rain. So rain is always welcome.
Blame it on the rain.
Winter night. Shalom from Italy at the foothills of the Alps. It is David.
What do they say? Ciao bene?
Ciao bene.
Ciao bene?
Ciao bella.
Ciao bella. What do they say?
They say ciao bella. Although it's probably women. Women saying it to each other. The Alps are gorgeous.
Yes, they are.
Our
It's the land of my people.
The other side. Obviously.
Tyrol.
Yeah, Tyrol.
Bavaria. Bear.
We have our mountains right over there with the snow on them too. So the Alps are gorgeous.
Rockies.
The Rockies are gorgeous. And they're big too. Shalom, y'all, said Patty Sanchez. On the road again. Only been to the airport in Detroit to change planes, but I've never been to Michigan otherwise. Laugh out loud. So you're not a troll or a Uber.
No, he said that.
You're
It's a
somebody.
contradiction in terms.
That's right. You're a secret squirrel. Sort of. We got plenty of rain last night, says Palmetto. Awesome. Moonshine says, I miss Italia. I miss Italia too.
I miss parts of Italia.
I really dug. Where did I dig?
I like northern Italy.
Northern Italy was really cool. Where is it? Where is it? Assisi? No. Is it Assisi? Did you go to Assisi?
I have never been to Assisi. Oh.
I'm pretty sure we went to Assisi. And I really like that. And Milan.
Milano.
And Pompeii was...
Malpensa.
Right? You cannot not go to Pompeii. Pompeii is amazing. PJF doesn't look German. What does he look? Greek Homestead?
So, both of my grandparents were from Austria on the one side. On the other side, both of my grandparents were from Bavaria. This is a German's face, raised in America.
Okay, so let's see what your comments are before we get into everything. Good morning and safe travels to you both, says
Thank you.
Buzzard Prepper.
That's a good name.
It is a good name. My mission this afternoon is trying to get the massive amount of weeds out of my garden, playing catch up with all the heat and rain lately.
I shudder to think of what our garden looks like.
Oh, I didn't even give it a thought. You're right. It's probably completely jungleized.
It's probably like 4 days of work.
Right. Silver Lining says, I don't think it's new, sis. I've lived here for 23 years, and this area has been extremely productive with agriculture. As long as I've been here, they've had canal irrigation.
Okay, so maybe we just noticed it for the first time.
Well, and it was all irrigation. It was
It's not like we
those...
spent time in Idaho before.
Right. It was those, hoses and big rolling around pipes and apparatuses. I really like the canal irrigation, though. I really do. I think that's a smart way to do things. And we went past some canal irrigation that had obviously taken some work to install. That's for sure. All right, so let me see the other comments. My new Great Pyrenees Anatolian Shepherd mix.
That's a good mix.
Just stole my wife's meaty steak bone off of her unattended plate.
You gotta correct that behavior. It gets worse.
Right? Yep, and also don't leave plates unattended where they can reach them. But yeah, she was so mad. I'm dying laughing. She's used to our well-trained lab. It was short. Yep, those dogs can smell and they can pretty much go anywhere they want to.
Maybe I'll replace Suka with an Anatolian.
Winter night. I'm in northern Italy, north of Milan, near the border with Switzerland.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous, yep. Moonshine
Fights.
said harvesting green beans today. Man, I'd love to have had enough green beans growing to harvest some.
Yeah, it might not be too late to plant beans.
I know, we might give it a shot. All right, more comments. Harvested Walla Walla sweets and garlic yesterday. Nice. It is that time. If you planted stuff at the beginning of summer, or like your potatoes by March, it is harvest time for some stuff. Nick Naselli says, morning, Sister Kane, Pastor Joe, currently reading the Word. Nice. Prepare now so you don't have to eat like a buzzard later, says Blizzard Prepper. There are many massive sprinkling systems. Awesome, says Silverline. Yes, there are. And we identified some of the fields as potatoes. What a shock. Very healthy looking potato plants. Yeah. Anyone have any ideas on why some of my Arkansas Traveler tomatoes have a point on the bottom? They're almost shaped like peaches.
Probably cross-pollinated with something else.
I have no clue. I wish I could say, but I don't know. Moonshine says I plant garlic in October. You can plant it in spring or fall. Either way works.
You can plant it in the summer. It's just don't make much sense.
Okay, so let's get into the point of the live stream. Someone that I know texted me last night, very concerned about news coming out of the World Health Organization and the UK Mirror and other newspapers. Did you just do something?
No, I went, ooh.
Ooh. Well, I think it is a woo kind of intentional thing. Talking about Congo, Crimea Hemorrhagic Fever. That is what CCHF is. And I think it makes sense to use, the letters instead of the whole words because it's a mouthful. And the headlines are saying that the World Health Organization thinks that disease is creeping into Europe, and they're attributing it to climate change.
It's creeping in. Well, you don't want me to say that. I'd say how it's creeping into Europe.
I do want you to say that, but
And a bunch of super packed boats is how it's creeping into Europe.
But not yet. Hang on,
Said all I
Pitbull.
can say.
Right?
I got a solution for that right here.
Right. So, do you all know what a hemorrhagic fever is? And I will wait to get your comments before I go any further. Ukrainian and African refugees, says Palmetto Paratrooper.
Yeah.
I would think with their immigration problems would be why it's creeping in.
Yeah, it's coming in on the bodies of those people. And they're the only ones who have it. You know that the Italians aren't getting it.
So, a hemorrhagic fever is a fever, the main symptoms of is bleeding in your body.
Hence the word hemo.
Right, hemo, like hemostat and hemangioma. It's a fever that causes internal bleeding, right? Palmetto Paratrooper, exactly. It causes your blood vessels to leak. And so Ebola is the most famous known hemorrhagic fever. But there are others. And it's called Congo Crimean hemorrhagic fever because it is in ticks in Crimea, in that area, which is Ukraine and southern Russia, in certain
Southern Russia.
in some of countries in Africa. It is also in the Middle East, and there was one other place. I think Southeast Asia.
Sure. Why not?
It
The
is
third world.
right. Well, and also warm areas. All the places where it's known to be normally is warm areas and areas with ticks, because that is the main way it is spread. Because it's a blood-borne illness as well. It's a virus, which is, in my mindset, is some of the bad news about it, because as we've discussed last couple of years, viruses have to run their course. You treat the symptoms of the virus, but you cannot just stop it by giving somebody a medicine. You can, although they've been working on antiviral medicines, and someone near and dear to our hearts that had COVID was given an antiviral medicine, and it pretty much stopped the COVID after 4 days. So until recently, viruses just, that's what a common cold is. You just
21 days, right?
Right, 21 days long, most of them. You spend a couple of days starting to feel sick, and then the middle part you feel pretty bad, and you have the most extreme symptoms like fever and the runny nose and coughing and everything.
Blood leaking out of your eyeballs.
And then the last week of the virus, then it's kind of slowly going away. Your cough gets less, your fever comes down, your nose doesn't run as bad. And then normally, hey, Mrs. Lovely Deadly, there's one of my
Shalom, my sister.
moderators. Yeah, thanks for popping in. So I talked about the virus, right? And then normally after you've had a virus,
No, you said yours comes on, then you have it bad, and then you didn't finish the thought of the 21 days.
Right, and then it's
less.
right, and then after the 21st day, like, you're over it, but then you normally have resistance. And resistance means you're probably not going to get it again, or if you do, it won't be nearly as serious as it was the first time you had the virus, whatever virus it is. And that was one of the big deals with COVID. They're trying to get people's resistance up with these vaccines, which is what a vaccine is. It's taking either
That's what they said they were trying to do with the so-called vaccines. We know the truth. I'm feeling ornery today.
You are feeling kind of ornery today. Yeah. To fight a vaccine, to fight a virus, what a vaccine normally is a weak live version or a shot with the dead virus that they take from someone who's already had it, and they inject it into people so that their resistance is up before they get the virus. That's how it's been done in the past. So let me see what your comments are, and then we'll keep going. Ticks are the most awful creatures Yah ever created.
No, they're not. Chiggers are far worse.
They're pretty gross, and mosquitoes, I think, are right up there. Okay, there's Thunder Chicken Ranch, Shalom. So it's on the northeast and south of Greece. Yay. At least you're an island, Greek Homestead. I don't think ticks swim. Okay.
They come on the backs of the refugees.
So,
I'm feeling ornery this morning.
yeah. Yes, we do. What about colloidal silver for viruses, James Carroll? Colloidal silver is an antibacterial. Silver does not
Stop a virus.
stop a virus. Silver is for treating bacterial infections, like an infected wound. So I don't think it's going to have a whole lot to do with viruses. Yeah. So let me think about what I was going to say about the next step.
You were going to look at comments.
I did. And then the World Health Organization recently put out like a report that they think this CCHF is spreading in Europe. caused by climate change. So to me, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because if you're in Ukraine, if you're in Crimea, you already are in Europe, aren't you?
Yep.
And I don't think the climate has changed that much. I've talked about this. I've talked about this multiple times. Winter
It's still cold.
Winter night is in the part of the world where the weather is warmer and the snow is melting, but in his part of the world, they are finding the bodies of people who were buried under 30 feet of snow in the 1916 winter season.
Well, they weren't buried under 30 feet of snow. They were buried because it was warm then also, and then over the course of time, 30 feet of snow piled up.
30 feet of snow fell in the winter of 1916, and their dead bodies from World War I were buried under that snow.
Right.
And now it's melting, and they're finding them again. Okay, well then what that actually means is the temperature is returning after about 100 years
To where it was.
to the temperature of where it was in 1916. So it's not a crisis. It's not a, oh my gosh, will it have
You need to
effects?
drive a battery-powered car.
That's right. You must drive a battery-powered car because of this global
So we
warming
can use
nonsense.
African slave labor to get your battery components.
That's right. But the warmer weather does bring new problems. You will have more mosquitoes. You probably will have more warm weather bugs
Ticks and chiggers.
and things like that. I don't know what bugs they have in Italy, but
You die.
the whole point is I don't think the temperature is changing so much in Europe that's going to cause these ticks to suddenly move into areas they have never been seen in before.
People are moving into areas.
And that's what Pastor and many of you have just said, that it's not the weather, it's the immigrants, it's the illegals coming from places where this disease is. They're coming out of Ukraine, they're coming out of the Middle East.
And then they're reporting because they're all a bunch of socialist nations in Europe, they're all reporting to the public health, and they're like, oh, look at all these cases of whatever it's called, hemorrhagic fever, that are popping up. Well, they're popping up because the people popped up and the people decided to avail themselves of the almost free healthcare.
And not only that, when I was in Italy, in Rome, there were illegal Africans selling sunglasses and other, little cheap items in the streets of Rome. And when I asked Italians about them, and they said, yeah, those are illegal immigrants from Africa. So you're getting at least 3 different bodies of immigrants in areas where this disease is normally, going into places where they normally weren't. And I think you all, and I think Pastor's right, that they brought this disease with them, and that's why they're seeing increased
You're
cases.
talking about the riots in France.
Well, I don't know if it has anything to do with the CCHF, but yeah.
It does. It's the same cause. That's how the CCHF is related to those riots in France. Y'all been seeing that? The huge violent riots, and they got to bring out the military police and all that stuff to deal with it. And all these French people are rioting. Watch some videos sometimes and tell me about those French people rioting.
I think his point is it's the immigrants who are, they're French citizens now, are rioting. And this is nothing new in France. They've been doing that for, a good 20 years.
What shall they eat? Let them eat cake.
France started letting Muslim immigrants and terrorists into their country way back when terrorism started to rear its ugly head in Europe in the 70s. France, being, who they are, they let these terrorists hang out in the country. And pretty soon, every couple of summers or so, these immigrants are riding and tearing up Paris and cars and setting things on fire. So I think you all and Pastor are absolutely right that the movement of this disease is through those immigrants. And they're not saying the immigrants are bringing them because they've already
Boy, somebody could twist what you're saying really badly.
Politically, they've already accepted these new illegal and legal immigrants in the country as citizens. And so they're saying the numbers are up, but they're not saying they're up because their immigrants brought them in.
No, they're saying it's up because of climate change, which is a bunch of hokum.
Which is the control mechanism. We all know that. So let's see what we've got. The ticks in my area of Tennessee seem to be pretty bad this year. I know this much, Buzzer Prepper. The ticks on our property this year have really enjoyed munching on Sister Kate, which they don't normally do, and not munching on Pastor Joe, which they do normally do. Now, he does spray himself with Deep
Woods Off.
Deep Woods Off with DEET in it. But in past years, it hasn't been that effective. But I've been pretty good. Let's see. James Carl says, thank you. Have a safe trip. Lovely Dudley says, climate change, quote unquote. Yeah, right. Pastor Joe is feeling it today. Must have got his booster. And there is Colson Barfield. Shalom, Kate and Joe. Good to see y'all. Good to see you too. Cindy P. I'm glad I caught it live. I'm glad you were able to come in here. Please comment on what I'm saying, y'all. Mrs. Lovely Dudley said, bring in the cooties. Laugh out loud.
Bring in the cooties.
That's right. It's much easier to convince people to migrate than it is to convince other animals to migrate. Well, that's true. Moonshine. Yes, when I was in Italy, they were everywhere. In Rome and in Florence. Yep. How did all those cities start rioting all at once, says Rachel Heighthouse.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely something behind that.
A coordinated attack, right?
It is an attack.
It is an attack.
The West is going to fall. Best prepare.
And we've got our own problems in this country.
Absolutely.
With stuff,
no, the West is going to fall.
Businesses erupting in flames, trains crashing. We got our own stuff. But Mrs. Lovely Dudley says, yes, it's bad in France. And it has been bad in France in the past, too. Just do a Google search. I remember within the last 10, 15 years, there was rioting in Paris all summer long. And the heat does bring up people's temperature. Like, you're more likely to commit violent crimes and riot when it's hot. I'll just put it that way. Think about the years that
so
COVID
there you are
broke
saying
out.
violent climate change is responsible for the rise in violence. You should just join up with the WHO.
No, I'm saying it's not at all what I'm saying.
I know you're not.
Saying it's easier to start a riot
but
when
you
it's
can
hot.
see that article being written, right? Because you're right. Like if the power goes out in the summertime, there's going to be a riot.
Right.
People are all hot and bothered. But you can see somebody saying how climate change
Increases rioting.
Exacerbates the penchant for violence.
Right. And don't forget, in 2020, there were lots of riots in the U.S. That's when
that was all
freedom-loving, sweet little Antifas were setting the whole country on fire.
That was all spontaneous. They had no hidden hand there.
Yeah, we all knew as soon as the weather turned cold, they were going to quit because it was political. Anyway, Shalom bless you, says Andy Vetter.
Shalom, my brother.
They are not ethnically French. No, some of them looked very trained.
My
not
point
like
is,
civilians.
they came, and I don't care if people are white, black, yellow, or blue, but they're not French, and they don't have French values, and they don't have a sense of French history, and therefore they come and they start burning the place down. They're not French.
I mean, you'd think they'd be
and
grateful.
Again, there are people of all races, if you want to go there, again, white, yellow, green, blue, brown, it doesn't matter, who are French, but that's not who's driving.
And you'd think they'd be grateful to be in a stable country, having run away from their own country.
Instead of bringing their crap with them.
Right? That's what I never understand, but I know there's political things that go on. Okay. Moonshine said it's ruining each country's culture. Winter Night says the woods near my little town in northern Italy are plagued by gangs of illegal drug dealers from North Africa.
You guys need to arm yourselves.
And wear your tick medicine. Deep Woods Off is the only way, said Rachel. JC Fixer said, yeah, there seems to be a few lads that are well versed in belt-fed machine guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roland.
Hang on. Woo, the comments are going faster. I agree, SK and PJ, even if they call me xenophobic. Right.
I am xenophobic. I'm a nationalist of all kinds. Vietnamese for Vietnam, Australians for Oz. I think you should be proud of where you are and by and large, stay there.
Well, and our country has had leaders who said, yeah, we should just stay within our borders and mind our business and let everybody else mind their business.
Your own business.
So I don't think it's evil to want your country to be strong. Anyway.
No, it's not.
Lady Smith says, shalom, Sister Kate and PJ. Shalom, Lady Smith.
Shalom.
Todd Ferguson, bless you both. Safe traveling. Thank you.
Oh, they got some hay in that field.
I have few ticks in spite of living in Deerfield Woods. Possibly chickens are cleaning them up. And guinea hens. They do. Unicorn Hollow Homestead. Good morning, everyone making beef jerky in Texas. Yeah.
Yo.
Unicorn Hollow Homestead is a hard-working homesteader.
Share that hay.
Okay. Here's some hay, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, and a butte in the back. It's a butte. Oh, truck. There you go. Truck photobomb. Then this, and then we'll do that again. There's lots of hay. Middle America.
I think it just said elevation 5,050.
I believe that. I believe we're in that. And I'll show you this butte in front of us, too. It's pretty cool. Hopefully the sun's not going to blind it. Okay, it's a lovely overpass. We have them all over America. There we go. There's our butte. Come back. Look at your comments again. Unicorn Hollow Homestead. Did you make enough jerky for everyone? Yes, you must share.
Did you bring enough for everyone?
Right? My stepsister lived in Paris in the 80s and came back because it was getting so bad then, said Cindy P. Right? That's more like 40 years ago. But yeah, the rioting in Paris has been going on periodically since they let all those terrorists
Well, those
in.
very well-equipped and numerous riot police didn't just happen for no reason. They have them, they've equipped them, and trained them for a reason. And that reason is riots are a thing there.
Right? And there's a reason that the African immigrants in Rome were running away from the Carabinieri.
Oh, the Carabinieri don't play.
No, even the females. They will mess
put
you
a hurt
up.
on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll give you some
I
wham
like
wham, little bam bam on you.
Little bam bam.
Yeah. The ethnicity isn't the point, it's the clue.
It's not the ethnicity, it's the culture.
Yeah, it's absolutely
It's
the
the
culture. It is. And we don't want to be what would you call us if we said we didn't like that culture? We're not racist, we're not xenophobic.
Oh, I believe there are superior cultures.
Let's just say it this way. There are cultures that cause havoc and chaos and are bad. And there are cultures that build up, that try to improve, and are good.
And cultures change. And America's culture has a lot of problems with it anymore, if you ask me.
It's getting a little cuckoo over here, but that's not the point of the video, at least not right now.
Sorry.
Granddaddy had a brown barrel behind the shed. Splash some of that on you. Boy, it's 17. I read it. It was DDT. Oh my gosh. Well,
evidently DDT worked really, really well.
It did, but it also caused a lot of side effects that they didn't know until later. Almost wiped out the
bald eagle,
the bald eagle, and the condor in California, and a bunch of other bird species.
Boy, we really need those condors.
Hey, I like condors. Thank you very much.
21-foot wingspan.
You can't beat that. All right. Hemorrhagic fever causes major life-threatening internal bleeding. That is correct, Mary Jane.
You don't have to spin it, but that's what we are.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I told you that.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, you told me.
All right. Moonshine. Moonshine's saying rap culture. I don't think rap culture is near.
There ain't no rap culture. I'll show a picture out your window.
What? Is this my live stream or yours?
I'm sorry.
Which?
I'll just
You want me to-
I'll stick to driving Miss
You want me to
Daisy.
show
No, I was
that?
talking about that window. You do what you want.
Do you see what I live with every day? guys?
Every day.
He is so bossy.
And when he is caffeinated, look out.
Look out. I would not say rap culture is ruining America. I think rap culture is elevating a part of our culture that felt like they were down and stayed
Had no
down
voice.
and kept down and had no voice, which was not necessarily true. I
But
think
then
there
again,
was,
what do you and I really know about
Right.
rap culture?
Right.
I mean, I don't know what the culture is.
well, and also I'm looking
A
at
lot of rappers end up getting shot. That's probably not good.
well, right, it's them fighting themselves over a piece of the pie. But my point is, I've been alive in this country 60 years, and I'm giving an objective point of view. I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm saying what I've seen is a lot of people have figured out America is a capitalist society, and you can make money if you have something to sell that the public wants. And that's how you get people like Jay-Z and Beyonce becoming millionaires and possibly billionaires.
Or the really smart people create desire, need, whatever perceived need for what they want to sell.
And people like Tyler Perry, who just was,
Who?
I know who he is, you don't, who was born poor and just worked hard and, kept working at it and making things that people wanted, plays and movies. And he now has bought an entire military base that was mothballed as his new studio.
Really?
Yes.
Who's Tyler Perry?
He's just
All right, you don't have to
a
talk to me, sir.
director, actor person who has, they just
Bought an army base.
right. You just improve yourself. That's really what America is all about. It is freedom, but it's also with a capitalist society. If you have an apple and you buy it for 5 cents, you can go to another part of your city and sell that apple for 10 cents and make yourself 5 cents. And you can keep doing things like that.
Oh, you sound like your husband.
I mean, these new camper trailers that we're seeing, he calls them money mobiles.
Money mobiles.
The skinny vans that people are using to go
That's a
camping.
ladder going upside and all the goo guys on it.
Very European looking. We've seen a bunch of them on the road. Somebody came up with an idea. A bunch of other people liked it, and somebody's making millions of dollars off those things.
More than that.
That's the greatness of America. All right. JC Fixer said, Pastor Joe caffeinated keeps me in line. And Mrs. Lovely Dudley said rap culture was for uplifting and now it's degenerate. Well, certainly there are parts of it, with the hose and the kill the cops.
Well, I think
and all
she's
that.
right. It's just like I said, cultures don't stay the same. It probably started out as actually a good thing, and then now it's getting just to where it's like, what?
Well, and also as people get money and get uplifted, their values turn to like, maybe I'd like to have a house and a car and 3 kids and, Anyway.
$50 million mansion.
C103, Adam Calhoun and others are the new Hank Jr. in the rap world. Some positive stuff, said C103. And Palmetto Paratrooper said, Mrs. Lovely Dudley, everything grassroots grows until it's corrupted. Well,
So
humans.
it's full of weeds.
Right.
Tears. But don't rip them tears out unless you rip out the weed also. I feel a sermon coming.
Humans will get corrupted. Humans will be changed by things, by money and fame and fortune. And
Money wouldn't change me.
what in the world happened there? My gosh, I reversed the picture and now they got to look outside. That's no good. All I did was,
We'll reverse it again.
I don't know how I reversed it in the
Oh
first
my
place.
goodness. That's
Well,
okay. They know what you look like.
I can show you that and I can show you this guy.
Don't show me. Nobody wants to see me.
If I, oh gosh. All right, I'm just gonna read your comments, y'all. Because if I try to turn the camera thing around and look at me, I won't be able to read your comments, and your comments are important. I remember Cool Mo D, Curtis Blow, Parliament, MC Breed. Those were great artists.
Parliament. P-Funk.
Come on, they are one of my favorite songs is Parliament, right? Stoplight.
Yeah, it's like the same band, just kind of more of Parliament, P-Funk, and
Yeah, some
Funkadelic.
wonderful, wonderful music. Anyway, there's Diana Smith, made the line. I want a t-shirt. Cow farts make cow parts. Good Lord. Lots of drive time, said West Old Forge. Yes, sir. We are on a road trip. Caffeinated Good Ride just sent me out to the prep shed. Hey, Suze. Hey, Suze. Long time no see. Oh, and thank you and Westhold Forge for supporting the channel.
Hey, Westhold Forge, I got somebody I'm going to introduce you to, a novice blacksmith. Maybe this week. Send me a text. We'll plan a time.
Did you hear that, Westhold?
You heard it.
All right. Okay, what were we talking about?
You were all over the place. I was just driving.
Yeah, right. Regulators, mount up, said Palmetto. Parliament Funkadelic flashlight. That's right. Do, 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 do.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to CCHF.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this video.
It's okay to cover ground in the video. There's probably just no way I'm going to figure out how I turn this screen around. Maybe that was it. No, that's not it. I'm not going to do it.
We need a producer that just rides around.
Yes. The thing, the CCHF, the reason someone texted me last night.
Look what they're looking at.
Yeah, I know. They're looking at the stuff. Is because that person was worried that ticks can spread that disease, because that person knew that we live in an area that has a lot of ticks. Many ticks. And since it's spread by ticks, there was a concern there. So I think another question about that disease, the hemorrhagic fever, is it going to be easily spread to America?
I would like to hear the words hemorrhagic fever spoken in an Aussie accent.
Well, I can't do that right now.
Hemorrhagic fever.
That's right, hemorrhagic fever. And I think the answer to that question is it's definitely something we should keep our eye on, because it's not that I'm saying people flying on airplanes have ticks all the time, but ticks could come in on their pets. Ticks could come in on goods imported from that country. And so I think, America's borders and their inspectors and things for stuff coming in from foreign countries should up their security level.
Can I just say something?
Absolutely, because you know more about this stuff than I do.
I would like to say that the actual problem is probably, I don't know, is probably not the Europe that's reporting it. The problem is not ticks, it's people. I don't think the tick population in Europe is suddenly going to become carriers of whatever. I think there's just an increase in reporting because these people are coming over and they already have it. That's what I think. What do I know?
But inevitably, if they have infected ticks on them and they're in those countries, those ticks are going to fall off and it's going to start to slowly spread, unless there's natural resistance there, or that the temperatures in the wintertime are going to kill off the towers. What happened there about the hemorrhagic fever, and that is, it's only a 30% mortality rate. Ebola is 40% up to 80%.
COVID's like less than 1%.
Right, COVID is less than 1%. Got everybody in the world all worried about COVID, and then find out it's got a very low mortality rate. The Congo, Crimea Hemorrhagic Fever has a 30% mortality rate. So we're not going to see huge amounts of people just dropping dead all over
One in three
Europe.
is a lot. Actually, 100 people get it, 33 die. Don't you think? I think that's pretty high.
And like I said, Ebola is like 40 to 80.
Okay, so you have to combine the what's it called? The death rate? What's it called?
Mortality rate?
Mortality rate?
Right.
With the transmission rate. Like how is it only transmitted by a tick?
Yes, that, or if you're
So
like,
a person can't give it to another person?
only if you're like all up in their blood.
All up in that blood.
Right.
All right, well, we know we avoid blood. So there you go. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think it's another thing. Panic about this, panic about that. Take our vaccine for the CCHR, Creedence Clearwater Revival, or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, I think it certainly could be something that government starts
They
saying,
want
oh,
to
we
panic
need.
everybody to give everybody shots again.
Up until now, I don't think there's been a vaccine for this virus. And I think this could be a reason for them to say, oh, well, we're going to develop a vaccine and we got to do it
The increase
fast.
in malaria in Florida?
No.
So there's a market increase evidently in cases of malaria in Florida and I think on the Texas coast reported. Isn't it interesting that, who's that mad scientist guy?
I don't
Steve, what's his name? Buys up all the farmland? Gates? Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
He just released like a quadrillion mosquitoes
To fight
something down there, or West Nile disease or something. But these mosquitoes that he released has nothing to do with malaria. In fact, they can't even carry malaria. Yet he releases a bazillion, or gets released or whatever, a bazillion mosquitoes, and then malaria goes up. Huh, isn't that a coincidence?
Well, and there's also been a lot of immigrants coming into Florida over the years and coming from South American countries and warm
there you
areas.
go. It could be the same thing. It could be they didn't catch it here. They brought it with them.
Malaria was sort of wiped out.
Because it's not contagious either, is it?
It is a mosquito-borne illness.
Right. But if you have malaria and a mosquito bites you and bites somebody else, I think you can think of malaria.
Correct. And malaria was in the United States in the past, just like yellow fever. Long past, right. Things like DDT was used to kill off huge mosquito populations, and that brought the malaria rates down. And just the fact that
song DDT did a job on me.
Yes, it is a Ramon song. Keep interrupting my train of thought.
Sorry, sweetie. I'll be quiet and drive.
So the DDT killed in the 60s lots and lots and lots of mosquitoes, and Americans got better at understanding mosquito bites were bad and spraying ourselves and having screens on our windows and all that. So malaria hasn't been a problem in the U.S. for a long time. And if there's an increase in cases, it can be something like, someone came into the area with malaria, didn't report it, didn't get health care, got bitten, the mosquitoes start spreading it. I mean, there's explanations for a rise. The thing about medical diseases and viruses rising and falling is that it's periodic. It's only an issue when it becomes what they call an epidemic, where more people have it than the medical community can take care of and are spreading it, and it's spreading without being controlled. Like wildfire. And that's when it becomes an issue. And I think that with this CCHF, there's the largest number of cases being reported right now in the world is 400 in Afghanistan. Which is nothing to their population. It's nothing to the world population. Afghanistan is rugged. There's lots of remote villages.
As I told my wife, there are more cases of syphilis in Afghanistan than that by a large factor, and you don't hear anybody talking about that.
Right, and so I'm going to show you what's outside right now because it's pretty cool. It's a vista.
It's not the Ozarks.
It's wide open spaces out there. So I don't think there's an immediate threat of this fever, this hemorrhagic fever, becoming a world epidemic, but I think there is a possibility of a slow crawl.
Nice way to bring it home.
So let's see your comments. Sister Kate, Thunder Chicken Ranch, hey, laugh out me and the wife, hey, Suze, would love to hang out and fellowship with you and PJ one day. And there's the lamp keeper. Hello, Sister Kate and Pastor Joe. Shalom and safe travels, says David Marsh. Okay, OPSEC Thunder Ranch. If it's wet and it's not yours, don't touch it, says Palmetto. That's exactly right. Ticks don't fly or hop. They ride the static electricity as we humans and animals come into their path. I agree with Pastor. We are hearing more about it due to the media. I agree with that.
Everybody all upset.
And Bill just came out with a new malaria vaccine.
Woohoo!
So
Not taking it.
He's not a doctor, folks. There is no reason to trust that man on medical issues.
I don't
at
trust
all.
that man as far as I can throw him.
Right. I trust BG as much as I trust gas station sushi, said Buzzard Prepper.
Good
Saying
point.
that there are thousands of us with specific skills, why are certain people still breathing? Scott, don't even address that. Tick diseases can be sexually transmitted through pregnancy, body fluid, semen, and breast milk. The operative word is can, not always, said Mary. I remember county spraying our town for mosquitoes because of sleeping sickness. Right.
I remember they had the truck called Smoky Joe that drove around and sprayed out some kind of huge aerosol mosquito spray. They do it like every couple days.
Right.
Where I lived.
Right. And they did it where I used to live too. And that's one reason we don't have a whole lot of yellow fever. And there are yellow fever vaccines. Malaria, once you have it,
You never get rid of
you
it.
never get rid of it. It's in your system for life. There are ways to repress it, but once your resistance is down, it can flare up and it affects your liver. It damages your liver and probably your kidneys too. Anyway, that is it for this live stream, y'all. Woohoo! We've been talking for like an hour, and that's about as much as we can talk before it's, we start getting hoarse and I need to drink stuff and everything. But
And we just veer off into subjects we ought not talk about on the internets.
I don't mind a little 3-hour veering all over the place, but now is not the time. Maybe in the future we'll do a live
Sit
stream
around a
like
campfire.
that. Right, sit around a campfire, exactly, and relax. So keep your eye on this thing, but do not panic. Right now, it is pretty much zero threat to Americans. If you're in Europe, just keep your eyes peeled. Stay away from the immigrants.
Keep your eyes on the road, your hands
Hands up on the wheel. And just, use your noggin. Be wise and stick to your path. Stick to the path. We love you guys. Thank you for coming in on us. We say goodbye. Well, there'll be a million little goodbye things. I'll turn the camera around so I can read your comments and start freaking out. Be part of the, calming people down.
Chill, Winston.
Right? Chill them out. Explain to them why it's not that big a deal right now. And don't let people get caught up in the hype. All right. Shalom. Let's see. All right. Shalom, Sister Ken SK. I got Lyme in 89 while nursing a child. I delivered another child. Cindy Peace of Shalom. Shalom, Palmetto. Thanks for. I have a bottle for you too. Safe travels. Yeah. It was fun to follow the truck with your friends on a bicycle. Okay. Safe travel. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Greek Homestead. You keep your eyes peeled because you're closer to some of that nonsense. Be careful. Have a great day. Enjoyed the traps and chats and buzzard. Me too. Bless y'all. Shalom.